third time. Let's try this again. I'm sorry, it cut off on B. So this is going to be a two-parter. It just is. If I try to put it together, it's not going to ever upload because space is an issue. I apologize. So I discovered recently, as I was saying, that I don't believe Diet Coke is what's going on. I was prepared to stop it. I've had 4 2-liters last me for 2 weeks, which, if you know me and my Diet Coke addiction, that's like a miracle. But I have been drinking it 3/4 carbonated water and a 1/4 pop. So I said I'm going to get rid of it this year, right? I'm not quite there yet. I'm not quite there yet, but I was pretty close to it when I thought that was causing it. So I was laying in bed one night, and I've been researching this so much, it's costing me sleep. And I believe what's causing this is a couple of months ago, about a week before all this started happening, I was laying in bed and I turned over. So I'm laying on my right side, I flip over to lay on my left. And when I did, all the way across my back, right where your bra strap would go, it just cracked. I heard it, I felt it, I thought, oh, this is gonna be good. No, it was not good. It was extremely painful. So much so that I was taking acetaminophen around the clock daily for at least 2 weeks before it got to where I could do anything. I was laying around. I wasn't doing anything strenuous because it couldn't. Physically, it was just so painful. So this is the exact same spot when I had my 2 fainting spells that the back would hurt. That intense, extremely painful back pain, exact same. All the way across, same spot. The burning chest pain in the front, also across that spot. When I looked it up, if your body is out of alignment, it can cause syncope and it can trigger that. And that is what I think happened. That's not my doctor telling me that. That's me. That's what I think happened. That's what I think is going on here. So the tachycardia, what I think happened with that, because all of this, like I said, has been very stressful for me. I think I was probably having an anxiety attack. It didn't feel like it, but I do find myself looking over to my light, to my lamp, and seeing, is it getting brighter? And sometimes if I feel just a little off, I'll start talking to see if I sound far away, because these are things that happen to me when the fainting spells start occurring. Other things that happen are the intense back pain, the chest pain, burning in the chest area, neck pain. What else have I had? I've had numb, tingling lips and lower jaw. That's when I checked for a stroke. Like, y'all, when I tell you this whole thing has really messed with me, it has messed with me, because I was all ready to go. We're gonna make some real progress health-wise this year, and this just threw me back. I mean, for the first couple of weeks, I wasn't allowed to do anything but sit and rest. Literally nothing. I wasn't allowed to do dishes. I wasn't allowed to clean. Nothing. I was able to go to the bathroom, and then I needed to chill, either on a couch or in the bed, and chill. That got old real fast. And I would pump my ankles because I didn't want a blood clot. I was worried about that. So I had a lot of fears of unknowns and things like that. And I think the tachycardia was anxiety, and I just didn't realize it. I was in tachycardia for 2.5 to 3 hours. By the time I left the hospital, it had stopped. And again, I left with an antibiotic and a diagnosis. When I started to tell the doctor what I was experiencing during these events, he finished telling me the symptoms. Like, I started telling him about the back, and he told me about the stomach. It made sense. It didn't make sense to the EMTs, and it didn't make sense to my family doctor, but it made perfect sense to him. And he was able to give me a name and a diagnosis, which relieved me that he knew what I was talking about. I wasn't crazy, because some days I feel perfectly fine, and then other days it's crazy. So what do I do? How do I get past this? What I do in the meantime to stop these from happening is I lay flat and I elevate my legs, and that usually will stop it in seconds. I'm paying attention to my body, so if I start getting that back pain or neck pain, or I just don't feel right. One day I was having, like, right in here pain, and I've had it on both sides. One day I had a lump here in my artery that you could physically see and feel. This was before I knew what it was. I have felt shooting pain from my hip to my ankle, where my artery and vein would be. I've had that happen, I'd say 4 or 5 times. And that was before I knew what it was. But that is actually from the chronic venous insufficiency. But, you know, veins, arteries, blood flow, and elevating my legs help that. So I haven't experienced that again since. So I have a lot going on. There's a whole lot of reasons to want to get healthy. I need a deep breath. This has been extremely emotional for me, and definitely anxiety driven. It's like waiting for the next one to hit. I have not driven. I've not been told that I can't drive. It was in my discharge paperwork from the hospital, but they never told me. Nobody went over that with me. But I did happen to read the paperwork, and it says in there, you should not drive unless you're okayed by your physician. I have no other appointments for my physician. I have pulled myself off the road for at least now, until I get a better handle on this and make sure it's not going to happen again. And this could happen to just once to people and never happen again. So I just don't want to be behind a wheel and get in a wreck, or hurt somebody else, hurt my daughter or myself. It's not worth it. But like, I can wait this out, okay? So when I feel like I can safely drive, I will. This is not that moment. I do feel like my neck is stiffer and it's starting to loosen up. My back is starting to loosen up more. So I think I'm past it. That has not stopped me from being very proactive about my heart health. So I was taking baby aspirin before I go to bed. I'm not taking that anymore. Instead, I am taking cod liver oil. I take it in the morning though. I am taking biotin because for whatever reason, my hair is getting extremely thin and falling out just like it did when I had the C word. I am taking vitamin C. These are gummies and there's sugar in them, and it will raise my sugar. Same with the zinc, gummies, sugar, it will raise it. I am also taking, which I need to replenish, vitamin B12 and vitamin D3K2. And I am currently out of this and need to replenish it. But my magnesium, I just ran out. sad. Also, on top of that, I am taking lecithin powder. During my research, the lecithin powder is supposed to clear up your arteries if they're clogged, open blood flow, help improve heart health. I'm not a doctor. This is just what I've found with my research. And I got right on that. I am not taking 3 tablespoons a day, though. I'm only taking 1 1/3 tablespoon a day, which is what is recommended on the container. And that's not here, otherwise I'd show it to you. But the one I got is the sunflower one, so it is a seed oil base. But they do have egg base. So if you're carnivore or trying to avoid seed oils, you could do the egg one, which I am probably going to get the next time. I don't mind the flavor, actually. I put water flavorings in it. I mix these, like a strawberry lemonade. But I do put that in there. I like it. Tastes like a smoothie with the thickness. To me, it doesn't bother me to take it. But again, I'll probably do the egg one next time. I just hope it don't taste eggy. I am also taking, since this happened, my doctor put me on losartan potassium. He prescribed me a 25 milligram pill, but I only take half of it once a day. It's an extremely low dose because we don't want me to go too low. After I went low, I started going really high. And that could be from the salt I was intaking to try to bring me up. But I would be in the 170s, 180s. Typically for me, without medication normally, before all this happened, I would be 136, 146, that area. After this happened, it's like 171, 180, and I was having pains, which is a syncope, but I didn't know that then. So it's all been very confusing and concerning, but I do have a diagnosis. It's not fatal. Thank you, Lord. It is very treatable. I'm thankful. It's very rare that it would be fatal. So I just need to figure out what my triggers are. And I really think it was my back. The timeline, everything happened after that. And it was close in proximity. So I think that's what's going on. Like I said, I still feel the stiffness and stuff. So that is what happened. I did end up at the ER. They did run a bunch of tests. My chest, my lungs, they're clear. Everything looked great except for the UTI and my kidney and liver. That is amazing to me. I'm surprised by that. I have been drinking a ton more water since all this happened because water is healing. And I'm also trying not to drink as much pop. So I'm replacing it with water. Sorry, tickle in my throat. So that's everything I'm doing right now. I am trying to head more low carb, more toward keto right now. It's not perfect. My breakfast and lunches are usually keto, but dinner, there's carbs in there. So that's the one I need to work on, is the dinner. And part of the reason for that is because I'm usually the one making it, so I make what everybody wants to eat, and I usually just eat whatever we're having. I need to tweak that as I get better because I am still dealing with the pain. I do still have to take it easy because I don't want to cause a fainting spell. Stress can trigger it. So many things can trigger this. I need to know what triggers it for me. And I thought I was able to trigger it with pop, but then I wasn't anymore. So I don't think that's it. I do think it is the back, and that's what I'm going to work on, trying to loosen that up. I am going to try to do some hand weights very gently, and if I do get dizzy or lightheaded, I will lay flat and take care of that and stop immediately. But that is what's going on with me, guys, and I'm sorry that this video had to be 2 parts. Like I said, if I hook it together, it's just gonna be a mess. But that's what I'm doing. Another trick that you can do if you have this or experience this is you can bend over, and kind of the goal is to get the blood rushing to your head. You can also put your head between your legs, you know, because you're not always in a place where you can sit flat. And I did watch another video of a doctor saying that you could do something like this, but it would be more toward your chest area, and you're just pulling and holding. So you're pulling tight and holding until it passes. And of course, if it comes back, you need to do that again. That has worked for me more than once when I could not lay down. Again, I have these tips and tricks, but I still don't want to get behind a wheel. I want to resolve this first, if at all possible. I want to be as safe as possible. All right, y'all. My next video is going to be about my eyes, because I did just see the eye doctor, so I want to go over that, but I want to keep that video separate. So I'm sorry this was a part 2. I do apologize. Space is an issue. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching and joining me today. Please be blessed. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Hit the little bell. Just notifies you whenever I upload my crazy. My crazy. That's what this whole experience has been. It's been scary. It's been crazy. And I would have sworn I was having a heart attack. Like, I would have sworn. I kept thinking, am I too late? Did I wait too long to get my head together, you know? But thankfully, the Lord is good to me, and I've got time to get my head together. It's just taking a little longer than I'd hope, because I've got to take things easy and even slower than I was before to make sure I don't faint. All right, guys. Also, I do apologize if you have heard the furnace. The furnace is on, the fan is on. I apologize if that's coming through. I thought I heard it in the first part. I do apologize. All right, guys. Again, be blessed. And thanks for watching.